Hello, I am Dick Rice, your brother in recovery. My date of recovery is May 1st, 1979. I guess I'm older than dirt as a result in the program and the community, but like yourself, today is my only day of recovery, and pray God I'm faithful to it. I also am fortunate to be the Director of Spiritual Development at the retreat, and both of those facts prompt me to want to speak with you today about spiritual awakening in terms of the 12th of our very dear familiar steps. You know it as well as I. Having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we tried to carry the message to other alcoholics and apply these principles in all of our affairs. The effect of working these steps is a spiritual awakening. I loved the spiritual writer and presenter Tony DeMello. He died much too early for me and maybe for you, but he used to galvanize audiences with his phrase, awareness, awareness, awareness. That's what it all came down to for Tony DeMello. For us 12-steppers, we can nuance that a little bit differently and say, awaken, awaken, awaken. That's really what it's all about, a spiritual awakening. What that brings home to me that I'm very late in realizing, but thank God I've come to realize it, this program offers us so much more than we tend to ask of it. It's somewhat like the phone that I recently purchased. I'm not a techie, okay? So I go into Verizon and they offer me this phone because somehow I'm upgraded to this. All I want is a phone that will answer calls and with which I can make calls. That's all I really want. And the salesman looks at me and says, but this has so much more than you want. It's got all these apps and all these contacts. And I look at him and my eyes roll and I say, I'll come back when I'm ready for that, okay? But at the moment, this is all I want. Remember how you and I came into the community and into the 12-step program? We didn't want a lot. We wanted people off our backs, maybe. We wanted to feel a little bit better. Maybe we wanted sobriety. I wanted to get my dad fixed. That's what brought me in. And slowly by slowly, we're almost seduced into what the program has to offer. It has emotional recovery to offer. It has intellectual recovery. It has social recovery. And then we realize, wait a minute, so much more than simply recovery or certainly sobriety. This program offers us a spiritual awakening. Oh my God. And then we have to decide whether we want to wake up and live the awakened life or not. We've been asleep for so long. We've been sluggish, maybe. We've been lazy for so long. Do we want to live the awakened life? Well, what does it look like? I can't tell you what it's going to be like for you to be fully awake, and I'm certainly not fully awake yet, but I'm waking up. These things I can promise you. You and I will wake up to the care of God. We will wake up to our own beauty and dignity, and we will awaken to the fact that we are all in it together. I don't know how that's going to happen for you. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know how the divine will move in. But this I can promise you, that the divine will reveal itself to us in terms of the third step, God, we turned our will and our lives over to you. A caring divine force, a caring divine spirit, a spirit that is with us in what we are going through. That's what care means. Not a divinity who fixes anything, not a divinity that wins the lottery for us. That'd be nice, perhaps. Maybe our problems would just get started at that point. But a divinity that is with us through it all. Whether it's breath, whether it's a Lutheran God, however that God manifests to us, we will come to know and be in conscious contact with a power greater than ourselves that cares for us and is with us. And as a result, we will realize that we are worth it. We are worthwhile. We have a dignity that we've never acknowledged before. You know how those of us who are in AA like to speak of ourselves as egomaniacs with low self-esteem. Those of us that are in Al-Anon, we don't have that egomania part. We just have the low self-esteem often. We go around like merry-go-rounds, like AA members go up and down like roller coasters. Enough of that. Once we start to wake up, we realize God has done great things in our lives, not because we're great or entitled to anything, but because the divine is great and has loved us with an everlasting love right to this moment of our lives. That's what makes us so special. That's what makes us so graced. And then we begin to realize that the same is true for you as it is for me. This divine power cares for you as I am cared for. And I realize you really are my brother and sister, not simply in the program, but in walking the earth. We really are in it all together. We really are sisters and brothers. I've learned a lot from Native people in my part of the country, and the Ojibwe, the Chippewa, have a saying that has come to mean so much to me. In this community, we are all of the same height. You will know the quality of your recovery when you can look at everybody else at a meeting and you don't look up or down at anyone. Fred might be here after a relapse. Shirley might be here at her very first meeting. We're all in it together. We are all sisters and brothers. I have so much to learn from each one of them. I have so much opportunity to share with each one of them. How and when the spiritual awakening is going to happen, I don't know. But you and I will realize at some point that the words that Jesus spoke at the Last Supper in John's Gospel, Father, may they all be one, really are true. We are one with each other. Each of us is a very special, unique, beautiful one with each other. And we are one with each other because of a God who so totally cares for us right to this moment of our lives. We're beginning to awaken. Thank you for the great privilege of being with you today. You helped me wake up. Take what's helpful, as usual, and leave the rest. Let's continue the journey.